Hello, hockey fans of all ages, shapes, and sizes. Happy long weekend. Not a devout royalist or anything, but Queen Victoria Day. It's so busy here. I guess summer is almost here. Anyways, I wanted to talk about Ryan O'Reilly, and I was listening to his presser. He used a lot of words like they, not we, and I love everybody. Yeah, I'd like to be back, but I got to reflect, and a lot of things that said to me, I'm not in control of my situation. I think he knows that with the core four as they are, it's going to be hard to break into that group. I even caught that a little bit in his talk. He said that they're really great guys, really tight. So for me, experience with San Jose, when they signed Karlsson, they went to that run, almost got to the cup. St. Louis Blues, Ryan O'Reilly ended up winning, and they lost Pavs because of Karlsson's huge contract. Now, I'm not here to talk about that. I'll touch on that later. I know, shout out to the boys in the WhatsApp chat. I know a lot of people who like San Jose as well, and back in the Jumbo years were kind of upset with Pavs not being re-signed. So yeah, what can they do to hang on to Ryan O'Reilly? In my opinion, I was looking up Pavs contract, and Bernsey, both ex-Sharks, both legends. Bernsey's around 5.2. Pavs, I think, was 6 with a 500 bonus. So he's around 5.5, I think, at cap. He was roughly around 6 or so, I think, for the last several years. So to me, Ryan O'Reilly, if they want to keep him, one of the core four has to go, as much as I hate to say it. I love Willie's contract. He's going to need a bump up if you're going to keep him. For a long-term deal, he's going to probably command somewhere around 10. I think Marner's price is north of 12.6 mil, probably 12.7 just to start from a vanity number, 100 grand higher than McKinnon. So how do you get all those salaries, especially when you got Nyes, who's going to demand beyond his ELC, which is an entry-level contract for those? How do you get him what he's probably going to be worth based on his pretty stellar Stanley Cup, scoring a goal under pressure, etc. as a young kid? What do you do with him in 3 years? So I think the whole thing right now, and the reason that they've parted ways with Dubas, is he's so close to like guys like Matthews, at least what I've heard, like Friedge and some of those guys say. Got a bit of Friedge-like hair going on today. What do you guys think? He'd be proud of me. Anyways, yeah, like, what do you do with Matthews if you could potentially lose Matthews for nothing in the summer? You got Marner for 2 more years. You got Nyes coming up. You got Willie, who's under a great contract. You got Tavares, where I don't see any realistic planet where he waives his no move clause, unless you got a team that's like ready to go. He wants to win, and I think he's got hustle. He's a good quiet leader, like I think a Pavs or like a Ryan O'Reilly is or has been. So watching the interview with Dallas Green and Ryan O'Reilly, you get to know him as a person, and I like him. I think he's a decent person. But back to the Dubas thing, it's all about, I believe Shanahan, the reason he truly let him go, whether they talk about it's like semantics of the contract and all these things, whatever. I truly believe that the reason that Shanahan is letting him go is because they've got extremely difficult choices to make. And I don't believe Shanny thinks that Dubas is the guy that can stomach that and make those. Like, in my opinion, they're at a crucible or turning point, whatever you want to call it, in their franchise. They're so close to winning. You don't want to blow it up right now. You want to retool, do a couple small things over the summer. But unfortunately, if you sign the core four, or if you do these extensions with Knies coming up and stuff, you're going to be spending all your cap on the core four. And a team is not four people. I don't care what anybody says. Even if you talk about a team in context of the core four or whatever, it's insulting to every single other person who makes way less than you. So I think in this context, they can kick the apple cart down the road for 2 more years. I think Tavares, he better sign a home team discount. They literally paid him so much to come to Toronto. He's already like a gazillionaire. So he better sign for like Jumbo signed for like around 2 million, 1 million near the end of his career because he wanted to win. And if Tavares is a guy that he should not care about money anymore, at least as long as he's got a good financial advisor and stuff and he's got money socked away, he's got endorsements down the road like Jumbo has. Just for Men, let's go. I love that commercial, and the Subban one. Yeah, like Tavares better sign for like 3, 4, 5 million in a couple years because they've been so good to him if he truly wants to win, or go find your money elsewhere. Like, I like him. I like what he did in the playoffs. You know, Tampa Bay is not as good as a team as they were with Goody. Shout out Martha and fam. Your mom got on to the NHL, the cup, like that commercial where everybody's kissing the cup, the song Kiss Me. Anyway, shout out Goody, legend, one of the best goals in Sharks history. Yeah, like, what do? Do you kick this can down the road 2 years when Tavares is up for renewal? I believe Marner is as well. So yeah, this can or apple cart or whatever, you're going to tip it over in 2 years to do the same thing anyway. So in my opinion, all money aside, I'm a big time mental health advocate. So I believe that Dubas should have talked to one-on-one or a couple people in a small room, a psychotherapist, a coach, a life coach, whatever, a mentor. He shouldn't have told millions of people. That was a mistake in my mind, and probably why he's gone, for the biggest reason. But the main reason is they don't want to kick this apple cart down 2 years more. They have to make extremely tough decisions right now. So Willie's contract is good. If you're planning on paying him 10 million in a couple years, great, keep him. Unfortunately, you could lose Matthews for absolutely nothing in the off season. And I think Marner being like a Selke candidate, if you keep him, he's got an amazing two-way game. So that's going to be valued and coveted by literally every team. I'm already thinking of like the Blackhawks or the Wings that are like one Selke guy away from, you know, being there. Maybe Chicago a little bit less. Like, they got a rebuilding with Bedard and stuff, but you know, Marner to Bedard, you could hear announcers say that an awful lot. Detroit, I don't know if they've got the pieces or whatever. I'm sure Stevie Y can work off some magic like he always does. But yeah, like Marner, I think with this situation in Tempe, I've been there, ASU Mountain and stuff. It's a cool campus. Tempe's a cool little area. It's very quiet. There's like some bars and stuff. I was literally looking at the Scottsdale region, and I know like Chris Johnston and a bunch of other guys are really high on Scottsdale. Like, it's an amazing place. Jesse of Steve Dangle's podcast, he's big on Scottsdale too. So I think all the guys are there. Anyway, so if you're going to trade Matthews before his no move kicks in on July 1st, what do you do? Is he going to re-sign there? Probably not. If their entire organization is in shambles. So this is a really dicey one as far as it comes to dealing with him this summer, and you might lose him for nothing. So if he will not sign and you cannot trade him for some reason, he's like, I refuse to go there, even though he's a hometown boy. I put my name in the hat for social media manager for the Coyotes, by the way. I'd love to work for an NHL team of any context. But they need to embrace the mullet down there, by the way. If they have this mullet arena for a couple years, charge a little bit more per seat. embrace the mullet, give people mullets on day one of the, that would be my social media campaign. I would talk to realtors, and I would, anybody who's an expat from Canada buying a house with any of the local realtors, I'd put them in a draw to win seasons tickets or something like that, some kind of campaign. Those are just a couple things I would do for social media in Arizona if I had the chance. But yeah, what do you do with Knies in 3 years? You got Tavares, you got Marner, you got Willie, all these guys to kick the apple cart or the can 2 years down the road. So unfortunately, I feel like Tavares won't want to go. Marner, I believe, really loves the Leafs. Austin, I think he's just saying, you know, I don't even know what's in his head. I can't even speculate, right? But this is what I'm doing. I'm speculating. I don't care. I feel like if you want more sandpaper and grit, unfortunately, you have to deal Matthews or Marner. And I don't know which one it's going to be. But I would say for the Coyotes, the Yotes, if you were to trade your number 6 and number 12, maybe the Leafs give you their number 28 back for 12. I know some people have said, oh, that's a crap deal or whatever, but if you trade Matthews for a number 6 and a number 12, maybe throw in Hayton, Barrett Hayton. He can score. He's young. He's like 22, I think, 23. Maybe a Zach Kassian, a little bit of, you know, some plumbing there, some grit, some sandpaper. You got a team that could win the cup. And bring on Mark Messier for a 2-year deal. Come on, Mark. You win everywhere you go. Obviously in Edmonton with Gretzky and Curry and all those legends, McTavish and Simpson and all those guys. A lot of them announcers to this day. And winning in New York too. You seem like a guy that can bring the most out of people. So let's just say they run it back with a new coach, Mark Messier. Let's go. Anyways, I think I'll leave it there. The Coyotes could potentially this year, because of their situation, say, if we want to save our entire franchise, if we want to bring on people that are now kind of guys to save the franchise, they put something in Scottsdale. I've already looked at Google Maps. I was curious, like Old Town Scottsdale, just northwest of there, there's a Motel 6, there's a bank, there's a developer on the west end. If that developer owns all that land, help them be a part of the bid, buy up that entire several block thing, and do what London, Ontario did with the Bud Gardens, which was the John Labatt Center when it started. That has been the best thing. The Ice House was way out of town. Nobody wanted to go there. I've lived in Ottawa for 5 years. Canada was really far away for everybody, right? You got to hop in your car and drive, where if you're downtown Scottsdale, there's restaurants, there's bars. All the players that are coming there, they can go shop at the Fashion Square in their day off, or they can, you know, go to Old Town Scottsdale for a meal. And you got like the W, the Hilton, all these hotels, you got golf courses. Like, Scottsdale is a place where players would want to come to be an away team. It's where the players would love to be as a home team. You got to figure out this thing in Scottsdale. And I don't know how fast they could turn it around, honestly, to make that work. But Scottsdale or nothing, or bust, in my opinion. So shout out to the guys at Steve Dangle Podcast. If you're listening through all the way, I applied to Teamwork Online for that social media manager that you guys mentioned for the Yotes. Visited Colin and his wife there, and he took me around Tempe and stuff. Tempe would have been nice, but Scottsdale's where it's at in my mind. So who knows what's going on. I figured I'd take the long weekend to comment about this. Hopefully all the Frege and, you know, Kipper and Bourne and Johnson and the Dangle guys are all having a good long weekend to think and reflect like Ryan O'Reilly's doing. But let's find a way to bring back Riley, Shen, Hachari. Excited to hear the commentary next week because there are some tough decisions to make. Have a good one, guys.